How you doing, everybody? This is Andrew Williams. We're here with T4C Live, and I'm here, and we're all back. The gang is back because it's Super Bowl week. We are very excited, and we are live from Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? I'm live from Tampa Bay. I'm really not. I wish I was there. Only about 6,000 fans is expected at the stadium this week. Down to my bottom left, I'm going to host this thing for the day, just for this special segment about the Super Bowl. To my right, we have Dan Corbett, the guy, our man, the myth, the boss himself. And down to the bottom, we have the teacher, Lee Datz. He talks very soft, but he's also statistical. Statisticianist. Shout you out. And on my bottom right, we have T. Lou, the parlay killer. 4 p.m. Make sure you follow him also. If you want any parlays, make sure you shout out my guy. I'll make sure you guys got the ad for that. But listen, we're going to get right back into it. This week, guys, we have a big game, a really, really big game. We have Tampa Bay with the Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. We have Patrick Mahomes, the future, the new face of the NFL, who won the Super Bowl last year and who has an offense that a lot of people think was just real vanilla during the season. Now they're starting to bring out their stunts during the playoffs. So far, we see this week we had Chandler Jones. We've seen a lot of Scotty Miller say he's better, faster than Tyreek Hill. We had a lot of stuff so far being talked about with the Super Bowl. So I just want to get the first question I'm going to ask. This is a whole segment about Super Bowl. So I just want to get, for the first topics, I just want to get one thing off. I won't go around the room. Guys, we got Tampa Bay versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you guys think will be the Super Bowl MVP? Let's go with that first. I'm gonna start with you, Terrence. Let me get your thoughts.
So, in my opinion, I have actually two. So, if I feel like Tom Brady, if the Buccaneers do win, Tom Brady will win MVP because they definitely always give it to the quarterback, even if they are somewhat undeserving. Because last year,
Malcolm Butler got it.
I guess you could say that because I know that the Chiefs beat, who did they beat? They beat the 49ers last year, or am I tripping?
Well, 49ers. No, you're not.
It feels so long ago. That's why I couldn't really remember. But I feel like Damian Williams, he should have won the Super Bowl MVP, especially with the 50-yard touchdown to put the game away. And I had some money on that, so I was really pissed off when they gave it to Mahomes. But I feel like it's going to be Tom Brady. And then I have a sleeper for Super Bowl MVP, and that's Sean Murphy-Bunting. Last week he had an interception. He's a rookie. I think he has.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Terrence. I believe Sean Murphy, he has one interception every playoff game, right?
Yeah.
So since the 2021 playoffs, he has had one interception every game.
So he has a next in the ball. So I feel like he has a chance to win it, especially with him going up against Tyreek Hill and him. If he holds his own and we end up winning, and he has to make some plays. So if he makes some plays and we get the win, I can definitely see it.
Oh, nice. Lee, what are your thoughts on some Super Bowl MVPs, maybe candidates that you just throw out there?
I definitely don't think it'll be Tom Brady. If you look at his games, honestly, if you really look at his games, he's been throwing interceptions in critical junctures of the game. He has the luxury of a defense that has carried him, I believe, this time in the playoffs. You look at the Rams game, I think it was the third quarter. He threw an interception to Gardner Johnson. Also, again, he threw two to Alexander and the Green Bay Packers, critical junctures of the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, Lee. I just want to speak on that real fast. This is a little quick hot second. Tom Brady last week, he scored 21 points in the first half, and then only had two turnovers in the second half of Green Bay last week, and they only scored 3 points after that. So, Lee, to your point, I do agree with you. But continue.
I think it'll honestly be one of the wide receivers. I think it might be Mike Evans. Mike Evans has been a monster in the playoffs, and he's also somebody who Tom Brady goes to in critical junctures of the game, whether it's sink or swim when it comes to it. And I think also the sleeper, I think, could be Antonio Brown. If you look at the last few games, He has been going off.
I would love for that to happen.
So I could see.
After
He
this year,
didn't play the
had,
last game.
after this year,
No,
he's had-
I'm saying when he was playing. I'm sorry, when he played this game, you think about the regular season, you think about him in the rest against the Washington football team. He's been somebody he relies on. He loves the slot. You think about Julian Edelman. Those guys, I can see it being Antonio Brown.
That'll be like the culmination, from him being out the league and him coming back to winning Super Bowl MVP.
That'd be a deep sleeper. I need to get the odds on that team. Maybe
I love for that. I would love for that to happen.
Terrence, maybe we can get the odds while Danny goes. Danny, let me hear your Super Bowl MVP.
All right, so I see y'all went the Tampa Bay route, so I'm gonna do one for each team. So if Kansas City wins, I don't have Patrick Mahomes winning MVP. I low-key got someone on the defensive side, Tyrann Mathieu. I could see him winning Super Bowl MVP only because you said it. Not both of you. Lee said it best. Tom Brady has been throwing a lot of interceptions. I wouldn't even say a lot. He's been throwing interceptions at crucial times, and I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the best teams, and one of the best intercepting teams. Like I think they have the most interceptions in the league, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it. Actually, quote me on it. At me on it. But and Tyrann Mathieu, he's just a dog. Like he somehow, some way finds his way around plays. Like he's always around, and I can't. And it's crazy because 2 years ago people thought he was done, and now look at him. He's balling. He's one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in the league. So that's my guy for that's what I got for Kansas City. But for the Buccaneers, I mean, obviously Tom Brady's going to be your number one, guy to win Super Bowl MVP. But I'm actually going to take a leap of faith and go with Leonard Fournette. I criticized this man 2 weeks ago, saying that he was selling the bag. And for those who don't understand what selling the bag means, it means this man was basically sabotaging his own team. He was basically giving up free yards. So and then he showed me something against Green Bay. He showed me tenacity. He showed me that not only he has moves, but I think me and T were talking about this one time, that he's more of a north and south runner. He's more your guy that he's going to run you over. He's not going to try. He doesn't really need to do any moves. He's like 6'1", 235 pounds, and he runs like a whole hyena. Like he runs like a gazelle. Like he's fast. Yeah. So I think he's going to take a lot of pressure off of Tom Brady, so that way Tom Brady doesn't have to sling the ball. I think if Tom Brady really wants to win, he's gonna control the offense through the running game, and he has two-headed monsters with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. But I think Leonard Fournette is gonna really do well, and I think he's going to be the biggest difference maker for that team. I mean, for the Buccaneers, because after all, the Kansas City Chiefs are not a good run defense at all whatsoever. So that's going to be literally the difference maker. So I got Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, speaking of that, I don't like what Tampa Bay. I think they took a step back by placing Leonard Fournette before Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones is a home run hitter. In the beginning of the season, he was killing. He had 100-yard games every game of the season, beginning of the season, and then slowed down as they tried to force Leonard Fournette in. But he is the better player overall. But to be honest, I think this will be the first time ever where I see two tight ends win MVP for either team. I think it could be a good cause that Gronk could be like, oh, Gronk, this might be your year out. This your way out. I might still stay back next year, but Gronk, you already say you know one and done with me. So Gronk, let me go out there and get you 2 touchdowns. Easy. And plus 90-plus yards. Or on the other side, I can see Patrick Mahomes saying, Kittle, you the guy, you the face, you the drinking bear, you the god of the team. Kittle, let me get you 125-plus yards receiving, and let me get you 2 touchdowns. I feel like that could be a big, major factor that we finally can see 2 tight ends as the Super Bowl MVP for once. And instead of this, Patrick Mahomes just throwing the ball and give it to the playmakers, these guys can actually become Super Bowl MVPs for once in a life. Terrence, I was going to ask you, Terrence, did you happen to get the stats on that AB as being a favorite?
Yeah, AB, his odds to win MVP is plus 6,600.
Woo! Oh, that's, you know what that means, Lee? Long shot. Yeah, long shot away. But let's just dive in. All right, so I'm gonna work our way into who you guys actually got going winning. So let's work our way in. So now we're gonna go where my second question of the day is: some key injuries was a part of this week, where we have two offensive linemen from the Kansas City Chiefs. How those things would play a big factor? How would Tampa Bay defense adjust to the speed of Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce? You got Hardman, the guy that muffed the fumble and came back and had a 100-yard game after that. So, after all these factors, I want to know, you guys, who do you think you guys will be the biggest X factor of the game this week? Like, who do you name some? Not no main guys, but just some Super Bowl miracle players of this week. Dan, I'm gonna start with you, Dan, because you went last the first time, so now you gonna go first.
Well, I'm glad I was about to say that was but I'm glad you said X Factor, because I'm all about X Factors. I'm all about underdogs. I'm gonna go with a guy who was a star on the New York Giants, and then he decided to play with firecrackers and tear one of his fingers off. So that, like, he reminds me of, you ever saw a scary movie and then the guy with the fingers that was like, oh, you want some mashed potatoes? So, but I'm gonna go with JPP, man. You said it yourself. That offensive line for Kansas City has been shaky all year. This man, Patrick Mahomes, has been running for his life. He's literally been saving his offense, like just rolling out the pocket, throwing the ball downfield, or even getting out and just running it himself. You know, we've seen him do that a lot this year, a lot more this year. So the reason why I say JPP is you're already given a defensive front who's dominant and tenacious. You already giving them an edge with two of the starters from Kansas City already being out, and they were going stupid against Green Bay. JPP was going stupid, and I think T Lou on this one. He said JPP was playing like he got all 10 of his fingers. so I think we're going to go back in time on Sunday. I think we're going to see JPP act a fool. I think I got him down for getting a sack fumble. This is very bold of me for saying this, but I got him down for getting a sack fumble, which will change the dynamic of the game. And that's my X factor. That's my guy.
I'll be honest. That's not what you're saying is not too far fetched, right? The idea of Jason Pierre-Paul, they are going after the quarterback. If you look at the game against the Green Bay Packers, he is getting after you. If you think about those two guys, Shaquille Barrett, who had 19.5 sacks in 2019, which was 13th all-time in single sacks leaders, and that's only to be credited by, obviously, Michael Strahan, who had 22.5. So if you think about that, and you think about Jason Pierre-Paul, who his first year had 12.5 sacks, and now this year has 9.5, and then you got Sue in the middle. Now that you think about these three factors, those two alone, Shaquille Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul, both have 4.7, and one is 4.78 in terms of 40-yard dash. That is probably 1.7 lower than the greatest right now who set the record, which is Jason William Smith, who is on the Washington football team, who has 4.6. Those two guys are fast, man. They look faster on the field, obviously, than they do in the 40 times. And what I'm trying to get at is those two guys made Aaron Rodgers not able to do what he does on the run. You think about how he's able to do that. Even in the game that he played Patrick Mahomes in week 12, Patrick Mahomes had no runs where he was scrambling out the pocket and does something where he reverses it across the field. If you look at it, there was critical junctures in that game where he had to go for field goals because he couldn't do what he normally does, where we see like this modern day greatest show on turf. When we think about the Rams in 2000, 1999, and 2000. So those guys right now is the modern day football team, but in that game you did not see him do his kind of like warrior-esque type moments where he does these flashy passes across the field and he's running around and scrambling.
So Lee, I heard what you're saying. So who is your X factor this week?
I think it's Devin White. If you look at Devin White, 45, he's been a monster this
Devin White, that's nice.
Playoff series. You know, there was controversy about where he was ranked in terms of where he was ranked in terms of the players' PFF ranking. I think he was lower than a lot of players on the roster. You know, obviously it was taken over by, you know, Tyreek Hill and, you know, Travis Kelce, who both had amazing seasons this year. You know, Travis Kelce is just a monster in general, but I think he's going to dominate because he's been dominating inside the entire playoff series. He is, and as a rookie, I mean, this guy after you and he makes plays. He is lightning fast, and he's just making plays out there. And it's within the blitzing scheme that Todd Bowles has made. Todd Bowles has this defense playing on another level, and I think he's going to have some systematic plays. Obviously, I think Tyreek Hill is going to be a monster, but I think he'll come up with some systematic plays that Devin White is going to level the field, and I think he's going to blow up.
Yeah. I hear what all you guys are saying. I'm gonna get to you in 2 seconds. I hear what everybody's saying about these defensive players, these defensive ends, Devin White. I hear the Shaq Bears. I hear the what's the corner name from Tampa Bay?
Sean Murphy-Bunn.
Yeah, and I hear all that.
He got away with a hole, but we'll let that go.
I'm gonna let y'all know here. Do you guys know that the first game Tyreek Hill had 100+ yards in the first half of the first time they played each other this year?
He actually had two.
It's not about how you started. It's not about how you started. It's about how you finished.
They won that game.
Did you see what happened in the second half after the adjustments from it?
They won the game.
Yeah, but a lot closer.
9 yards in the second half.
Yeah, so he called. He said, "Help is on the way." He called Obama. I mean, he called Trump because that's when Trump was still in the. But before you go, Terrence, I'm gonna go with the X factor, and I feel like it's gonna be X factor because Andy Reid is such a pass first guy. And I think the rookie out of LSU, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, will be a big X factor for this game. And I hate to say X factor, but I think they're gonna get because of the offensive line, they're gonna do so many quick passes and short passes. They're gonna get a lot of screen game going. And I think if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is able to break a few, it's gonna be a long day for that pass rush because they're gonna blitz. They're gonna blitz. They're gonna send them hard and fast. So when you blitz, you get caught behind that. You can throw behind them now.
So can I ask you a question?
Right. Go ahead, T. What you asking?
So you're gonna have. So you think Clyde? You think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be able to do what Alvin Kamara couldn't do?
Well, they have a different offense in Kansas City than the Saints offense.
I'm talking about you. You mentioned
my question.
You mentioned screen plays. You mentioned stuff like that, and that's pretty much what the Saints did.
The Saints pretty much. You pretty much keyed in on Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas was and stuff, as you can see, he played on the torn. Emmanuel Sanders. They really don't have nobody. Now you got Tyreek Hill, you got game plan for Harper, you got Kelce. So you got Patrick Mahomes because he be throwing at nobody. He looks like the modern day Tom Brady. That's what I'm getting at here. So I just wanna say like the Chiefs are favorite for a reason. Let us not think about this for a second. Like the Chiefs are favorite for a reason in this game. We can't
I have a
sleep on them like
question
this. Go ahead.
So you're telling me that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to start over Darrell Williams, who's starting right now at the position, and he's a rookie?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a rookie too.
Darrell Williams
in the biggest game of them all. You have Le'Veon Bell, and you're going to give the ball to Le'Veon Bell before you give it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That is true.
But you got to trust experience.
You think about the goal line.
You asked me who I think will be the X factor, and I feel like Le'Veon Bell's going to get the ball, of course. But if it comes down to it, when Le'Veon starts doing that shifting, like he a manual stick shift on the Jeep Cherokee, they're going to give it to Clyde. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going to come down to. But Terrence, who is your X factor this week?
So my X factor, after watching last week's games, I feel like his name wasn't mentioned. We went with two defensive players so far, so I'm going to keep on with that trend. I feel like Vita Vea, him coming back from injury, we missed him for the last 9 weeks of the season, and he returned against the Packers, and he didn't miss a beat. He literally was taking. We had so many sacks because he was taking on 2 and 3 linemen at one time. Like it was plays he got double teamed, even triple teamed, and we were in the backfield every play. We made like Aaron Rodgers' life was like 11 hell for those 40. Well, for that 60 minutes of game time, and he didn't have any clean throws. And Vita Vea, he's just a monster. For him to come back after this injury, he was supposed to be out for the season. But for him to come back and for him to dominate like the way he did last week, this week is. Especially against nobody. You got linemen as nobodies. You got 2. I think it's a left tackle. You got a new right guard, and that's Mahomes' blind side. So
yeah, and
Mahomes' blind side is.
I want to make sure that we don't overlook I want to make sure we don't overlook the fact that like Buffalo was the number 1 ranked defense in the league, right? And you see what? No, Terrence. I know you try to say this, but we got to state facts here. You see what the Chiefs did to Buffalo, and they the number 1 ranked. Like Hyde said, "Yo, it's different to see Tyreek Hill on TV than to play him in person." He said it out of his mouth. He's really fast. Like it takes more than one guy to try to stop him. And then are you double Tyreek? Then Travis Kelce start going off. And then you got Hartman to go on. You know, I'm gonna need you
to do me a favor, and I'm gonna need you to stop mentioning Mecole Hardman. I'm gonna need you to stop mentioning him like he's a factor. That's what I'm gonna need you to do.
Because he always score. It's always the third guy that always scored the touchdown for some reason.
I'm gonna just address what you said about the Bills. So, one key thing about the Bills is that they do not have any type of pass rush. They rely solely on their back 4 and their linebackers. So it worked out for Kansas City's favor because basically they're a good pass defense team. I mean, the Bills were a good pass defensive team, but they were trash at protecting the line of scrimmage. So you're going against a team that is a terrible run team, a terrible like their offensive line is not it at all, but they're one of the best, if not the best, passing offenses in the league. That's going to help you out. If you literally like this man Patrick Mahomes was sitting there reading Harry Potter books and throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Like it didn't make any sense. But he's going against a totally different team. He's going against a defense that's more balanced. They may not have the
different animal.
They may not have the Tre'Davious Whites. They may not have the Hydes.
Who has the better secondary?
The better secondary. I'll give it to the Bills
because of Trey White. It's clearly the Bills because of
Michael Hyde is tough. He is a Pro Bowl.
Michael Hyde is good too.
Michael Hyde is a Pro Bowl caliber safety.
Yeah, he is the number 1 safety.
Yeah. I disagree. Honey Badger got me for number 1 safety in the league, but that's
Honey Badger.
I got some plays of Honey Badger.
Let's wait for Darren Williams to Dwayne James come back.
the old Derwin James next year.
Maybe he go back to his old self. But basically what I'm saying is, I'm all about balance. I would rather I have more faith going against. Taking my defense, who may not be as good of, may not have as good of back seven, a DB7. DB4. 4 DBs like the Bills, but we have a good front. We have a decent front seven. We have a front seven that's tenacious, that goes after the quarterback, that protects the line of scrimmage. That's what it's going to come down to. I really don't think people understand that football is all about inches. Like, it's really one of the games that's all about inches, and it's all like literally 1 inch can save the game, and it's going to come down to.
Definitely going to pause you on that one. But go ahead.
It's tough, but that's tough. But it comes down to basically yardage. And my basically where I'm going with this is that the Bills, technically, they didn't have the number one defense. If you actually look at it, it's the Los Angeles Rams. And the reason why the Los Angeles Rams had the best defense is because of Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald took on so many double teams and triple teams that it made life easier for the linebackers, made life easier for all the other outside linebackers or defensive.
Bro, I don't know how you don't get that.
I think Aaron Donald had a little sidebar. Aaron Donald had a pedestrian year this year, to be honest. But go ahead.
Dude, you're asking a guy who's 6'2", 275 to get double teamed, triple teamed by 300 pounds.
He also lifts like 900 pounds. So I just seen it. So but you're asking for a defensive tackle, for an undersized defensive tackle who basically commands the line of scrimmage, who's basically the best defensive player in the league, who commands every like there's no team on this earth that You're right. Let's stay on time.
But that's my thing. I think this defensive line that Todd Bowles has is going to go crazy, and I really it's going to be crazy. That's all I gotta say, man. It's just going to be crazy this week.
I hope you're right. Everything sounds good. You guys told me who do you think your MVP was going to be. So far, you guys told me who you think the X Factor was going to be. So next, we're going to hop right into the big one. Who's going to win the game?
I'ma do the dash, get to the bag, ain't no one as bad as me. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, I'm a bad boy. When I got off my thing, got to the cash